Consumer Electronics Show 2024, world's largest technology exhibition, CES for short, just wrapped up in Las Vegas. That's where biggest tech companies make their loudest announcements and startups bring their most incredible gadgets vying for a share of attention and funding. How did CES surprise us this year? Well, with smartphone replacement gadgets, new humanoid robots from China, artificial intelligence everywhere, incredible concept cars for air and land, just to name a few. The most comprehensive review of the show right here, right now. XPeng IROS, a subsidiary of Chinese electric car manufacturer XPeng, brought its impressive concept car transformer to the show. Ease of operation is really important, as you don't have to take a full pilot training course and learn what all those buttons and levers on the airplane-style flying car's dashboard mean. However, when the eVTOL flying car will go on sale remains unknown.
So this is XPeng IROS eVTOL flying car. In the driving mode, it looks super cool, just like a supercar. And then when it's in the flying mode, the propeller is gonna spread out from the car body, and then the steering wheel is gonna fold under the dashboard. So when you take flight, you only need to use the gear stick to control the flight. And it's very cool because the door and everything is just transparent, so you can see through a very wide view of the scenes. And the chassis and the screen, they're all transparent, so it gives you a sense of super futuristic,
But the company has announced that by the end of 2025, it will start production and launch sales of another concept, the Land Aircraft Carrier. It's a large, 3-axle electric vehicle remotely resembling a mix of a minivan and a pickup truck, with a compact passenger aircraft, that's right, in the trunk. The car was not shown at the show, however, though pre-orders will become available later this year. Enchanted Tools brought its Miroki mobile service robots to the playground as well. The robots, which are native to France, are trying to stand out from the competition with their design inspired by either anime or Pixar characters. What do you think? Miroki is designed to be used in hospitals, nursing homes, and hotels to help move objects. The developers say staff will only need to issue a command like, "Hey robot, move this to another room," or "Bring this tray here every morning," and the robot should do just fine. The robots have 4 fingers on each hand, with one of them opposable, just like humans. But instead of legs, Miroki has a ball, so it definitely won't cope with stairs. But on flat surface, the robot moves quite fast, keeping their balance on turns and balancing and carrying stuff in their hands. The development of the robot has so far cost the company $17 million, but that doesn't let Enchanted Tools get all depressed, since Miroki is currently being tested on 6 experimental sites and in 3 research laboratories. The company also has a contract with Rocal Hospital in Paris, where the robots are expected to start working this year. Augment Robotics presented its companion robot at the exhibition. The main feature of the Oro robot is that it's a companion for pets. It can autonomously move around your house, play with animals, and spoil them with goodies, as well as feed them medicine if necessary. The developers assure that the robot is safe for pets and it's designed with their mental stimulation in mind. But you'll have to take their word for it here. Additional features include creating video stories for social networks and health monitoring, though it wasn't specified exactly how that's done. Oro Robot also integrates with smart accessories like collars and voice assistants, as well as third-party pet care services. Do you think your pet would like to play with this robot? Does $800 sound too expensive? Leave a comment and let us know.
Hello from Las Vegas and welcome to CES 2024. Here at Hypershell, we're shaping the future of outdoor adventure with our advanced exoskeleton technology. We're dedicated to helping users transcend physical limits and confidently venture into new territories. And now, we're excited to introduce the Hypershell Mountain Exoskeleton. Designed for both entry-level and advanced users, This 5-pound exoskeleton with a powerful 800-watt output and an AI-driven motion engine offers smooth adaptation to varying terrains. It supports your adventure for up to 10 miles on a single charge and stands strong in harsh conditions with an IP54 rating. Visit our booth for a first-hand experience and share your thoughts. Thank you for joining us at CES 2024. We'll see you there.
LG, meanwhile, has unexpectedly unveiled its pet robot, or rather, AI agent. This is another attempt to create a robot that should be not just an accessory, but a real assistant in everyday tasks, as well as the control center of a smart home system. The concept itself is pretty straightforward. LG is offering an idea of home with zero labor, where artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things free your time up from the daily routine, as well as control your health and the mood of your pets. However, to make it all work, according to LG CEO William Cho, the AI agent will first collect all the information about you, process it, and then start guessing your wants and needs, adjusting to your schedule. The robot recognizes faces and users, relying on machine learning to understand context, so its responses and communication are tailored to each family member. It's equipped with technology based on large language models, so you can communicate with it freely while going about your daily activities. The robot will meet you at the door, recognize your mood, ask you how you're doing, remind you to take your medication, and tell you if a light has gone out somewhere. We only have one question. Is anyone going to want to even have a pet after this? It seems that many large companies thought, okay, 2023 was the year of ChatGPT, then 2024 will be the year of wearable devices and robots with generative artificial intelligence inside. Samsung has been showing robots at CES for several years now, and sometimes quite interesting ones at that. This year, however, instead of developing last year's projects, it showed an upgrade of an older concept, the Bali home robot. Now, the seriously grown and strengthened Bali is a mobile projector with built-in artificial intelligence capabilities. It can handle phone calls, smart home requests, and even feed your pet. It's also capable of responding and following you around like a puppy, telling you what to cook based on the foods the robot recognizes in your fridge. The projector itself takes into account where and how you stand or sit, adjusting the angle of the projection and its placement so that you're comfortable watching it. The robot has built-in front and rear cameras to detect and analyze its surroundings, and can even learn the user's repetitive actions to automate various functions. However, it's disconcerting that Bali's work is only shown in a video, whereas its predecessor from 2020 scurried around the stage responding to the speaker's commands. So the question is, Samsung, when are we finally going to see your home robots on sale? CircuitMess, the startup, brought its robo-constructors to CES this year, which the company is trying to crowdfund through Kickstarter. The most interesting model in the lineup is an exact replica of the Perseverance rover, which has been licensed by NASA. CircuitMess is a team from Croatia that already has a number of successful electronics and coding kits, but the space-themed series is the most ambitious thus far. The soldering, assembly, and coding kit is available in different options in terms of hardware and even programming languages. It looks really cool. Any flat earthers out there? Would you like to build yourself a rover like this? Chinese company Kepler Exploration Robot presented a new droid of the Kepler Forerunner series at the exhibition. According to the manufacturer, the robot will focus on embodied intelligence, a concept aimed at creating systems that can interact with the physical world in a human-like manner. Kepler Forerunner is 5'10" or 178 centimeters tall and weighs 187 pounds, which is 85 kilos. It has 12 degrees of freedom in its arms and a total of 40 degrees of freedom throughout the body. This design allows it to perform demanding tasks such as navigating difficult terrain, avoiding obstacles, and lifting heavy loads. It features technology similar to the Tesla Optimus, utilizing planetary roller screw drive and rotary drive technology for complex movements and control. The patented Nebula system enhances its cognitive abilities, providing accurate environmental awareness and adaptability. The robot is designed for industries such as manufacturing, logistics, education, and more. However, it can be seen in action only in the presentation video. But at the exhibition, well, let's just say there were a couple of cables sticking out. SquareMind demonstrated its flagship product, a robot for skin cancer detection. The robot conducts autonomous skin screening, collecting a large amount of data processed with the help of artificial intelligence. Roborock unveiled a dream robot vacuum cleaner at the show. The S8 Max V Ultra understands and follows voice commands, can set up a video call, and most importantly, it has an arm that extends when cleaning difficult-to-get-to spots. Other features include 3D scanning using structured light coupled with artificial intelligence, which allows it to avoid obstacles and recognize various objects on the floor. And after analyzing it, the robot will decide what to do with what it's found, remove, or stay away. Let's hope at least this vacuum cleaner will not throw dirt around the apartment if it goes all kooky. Cooler Master once again brought its Shark computer to CES. We talked about it in our review of last year's show, which you can check out in the description below. Hyundai presented not one, but two novelties at CES this year. One of them is a new air-cab Supernal SA2. This is an electric vertical takeoff and landing airplane, which is scheduled to be launched in 2028. SA2 is an improved version of the previous model, that's right, SA1. The aircraft is capable of reaching speeds of up to 120 miles or 200 kilometers per hour and is designed for short flights in the city. The Supernal SA2 is equipped with a distributed electric propulsion system and 8 rotary main propellers. It has a low noise level of about 65 decibel for vertical takeoff and landing, and 45 decibel for horizontal flight. The company said it doubled down on safety, environmental friendliness, and passenger comfort. The airframe design meets global safety standards and includes robust components, reserve systems, and key functions such as transmission, flight controls, and avionics. The cockpit with landing gear under the nose and behind the wing has a 3-point contact zone. Whose concept is cooler, Hyundai or XPeng? Let us know in the comments below. Also, Hyundai's part supplier division Hyundai Mobis wooed the audience with the Mobian concept, which danced and spun in place thanks to its E-corner steering system. The articulated independent steering provides up to 90 degrees of steering angle for all 4 wheels, allowing the Mobian to move sideways into a parallel parking space, glide diagonally in tight spaces, and perform 360 turns with a 0 radius in place. What do you think of these innovations? For one, we can't wait for these systems to show up in regular cars. Hyundai, please. Also at the exhibition was a new subsidiary of Hyundai, RC Lab Mobin. It brought to CES a delivery robot Mobin, which can climb stairs and change its height for easy loading and unloading. For now, it's a research project with no market release date, so stay tuned. Probably one of the quirkiest gadgets at the show was the $200 Rabbit R1. It's a pocket-sized AI assistant that can navigate your apps for you without having to pick up your phone. The developers were driven by the idea that people are already lazy enough to interact with apps through their phone. For example, to hail a cab, you have to take out your phone, unlock it, find the app, go into it, wait till it loads, enter your address, and only then hail the cab. Oh, the difficulty of life. So, Rabbit R1 is apparently going to save us all this time. Now you can just take out your device and tell it a command in natural language. Over 10,000 units of R1 were sold within a day after the presentation. How do you like this idea? The startup SkyTed presented its eponymous voice capture masks, which absorb 80% of the noise and allow you to communicate, for example, in public transportation, so that others can't hear you. The masks synchronize with a smartphone app that also shows the user's voice level. SkyTed masks are made of a sound-absorbing material developed by acoustical engineer Frank Simon. The company advertises the masks as a way to play games and even has a section on its website dedicated to defense and military applications. The gadget will cost approximately $300, and honestly, I get one and just carry it around so I can put it on some people's faces in public transportation. Pivotal, a company backed by Larry Page, announced at the show the start of sales of its light electric aircraft Helix, which among other things does not require a pilot's license to fly. Although this doesn't mean that you just shell out $190,000 and that's it, go ahead, you can fly. No, each owner of the device will still have to undergo some training, so check it out. Time Kettle announced at the show the X1 Interpreter Hub, a new real-time interpreter designed for meetings. The developers call it, quote, the world's first multilingual simultaneous translation system. The system works out of the box without the need to download a separate app. In face-to-face meetings, two devices connect together to initiate translation of the conversation. The handheld devices include headphones similar to previous Time Kettle products. In total, the X1 can support up to 20 people simultaneously in 5 different languages. That's really cool. We could have definitely used one of these at the World Robot Conference trade show in China. For a review of that show from last year, check out the description. Volkswagen's big new feature at CES was the addition of ChatGPT to its IDA, or Intelligent Driver Assistant. The feature has only been announced and has yet to be implemented. When will adding GPT to your product become passé? By the way, how often do you guys use ChatGPT in your daily life? Honda unveiled 2 concept models of its upcoming Zero Series electric vehicles, the sedan and Space Hub, and said the first commercial model in the Zero Series electric vehicle lineup will launch in North America in 2026. Honda's first Zero Series model is apparently based on the Saloon concept, a low-slung, roomy but sporty electric car that looks a bit like the computer graphics from Blade Runner sequel. Meanwhile, the van-like Space Hub appears at first glance to be a little less dystopian and more family-oriented. The company says the models differ from other electric vehicles in that they are, quote, thin and light and are made of sustainable materials inside and out. Details about them aren't really being disclosed. Honda's Zero Series sedan will have a spacious interior and the latest technology, including an autonomous driving system. The Space Hub is a multi-purpose vehicle. The Space Hub is a multi-purpose electric vehicle that can be used as both a truck and a passenger vehicle. It will also be equipped with the latest tech, including an autonomous driving system and a next-gen lithium-ion battery. The company plans to produce 30 electric vehicle models by 2030, including the electric Prologue, which will be released this year. The company plans to produce 30 electric vehicle models by 2030, including the electric Prologue, which will be released this year. Israel's pavilion at CES has staked its claim on a manicure robot. The developers claim that Nimble is the world's first device that combines artificial intelligence and sophisticated robotics to flawlessly color nails. The robot resembles a printer refilled with nail polish. Its main advantages are no appointment necessary and speed. Nimble can polish all 10 nails and dry them in just under 25 minutes. The device uses high-res microcameras and 3D imaging to determine the shape, size, and curvature of the nails. A small robotic arm controlled by artificial intelligence then applies 3 coats of nail polish. The robot is scheduled to start selling in March, priced at $600. Girls, who wants to get themselves one of these? Mercedes decided not to emphasize concept cars, but intelligence solutions instead, to help and entertain drivers. Among the presented products was a new virtual assistant, MBUX, running on the new Mercedes-Benz operating system, MBOSS, developed from scratch by the company's engineers. It uses generative artificial intelligence and advanced 3D graphics to make interactions with it more natural, human, intuitive, and personalized. More immersive navigation is also claimed by the developers. The latter is planned to be realized by overlaying what the car sees on the digital gauge of the car. In the animation, you'll see digital images of people, other cars, or cyclists, all with route guidance superimposed on top of them. The main goal of MBOSS is somewhat ambitious, which is to make the driving experience hyper-personalized, so much so that the car would become not just a birdie for the owner, but in general have a chance to replace his family and friends altogether. Wow, Mercedes, wow. CES was also the venue for the North American premiere of the CLA class concept based on the future Mercedes-Benz modular architecture, otherwise known as MMA. It's a coupe-style electric four-door sedan with a range of more than 460 miles or 750 kilometers. South Korea had a fairly large pavilion at CES this year. The Katra booth in particular showcased Mandrow's robo-arms. The startup specializes in creating affordable and functional prostheses printed on a 3D printer. There were also solutions for urban farming from Hexagrow. The company offers 3 turnkey solutions: an ecosystem of smart gardens, educational software that is an AI farming assistant, and finally an urban farming community that should foster social connections between urban farmers. French company DTA Aircraft Manufacturer also brought its first fully flight-ready eVTOL. Today, private flying transportation has become as mainstream as humanoid robots. Which of these technologies do you think has more potential in the coming years? Bet! Place your bets and leave your comment down below.
Hey, so we're here at Catmind. This is a virtual office. The way you're looking at here is actually our office. We focus on really putting you in a 3D environment with your webcams, and that's live video, live audio, and not an avatar of you. So we think there's more culture and connectivity by actually having you there with other people. It's a place for a company or a remote team to gather, all in one place, accessible via a browser, nothing to download, loads quickly, has different privacy features. You can pop in and have a 2-minute meeting, close the door and have a private conversation, have a group meeting, share screens. Really is an excellent way for a fully remote company to all really be together in one place.
While attempts to bring work and communication into the metaverse are somewhat meh, we'll see if such an idea takes off and keep you posted. Doosan Robotics unveiled its new Dart Suite robot ecosystem at CES, which makes it easy to integrate artificial intelligence into cobots, even for those who are not professional developers or integrators. This makes it easier to deploy robots, especially in industries such as manufacturing, logistics, and medicine. In other words, you can buy a Doosan robot and configure it to work the way you want it to work using easy-to-understand interfaces similar to a typical mobile app. At the same time, the robot will operate with a high degree of autonomy and will be completely safe for humans. And the artificial intelligence system will be continuously trained and updated, automatically downloading new modules as needed. Chinese company Horwin has unveiled futuristic concept motorcycles of the Senmenti series at CES 2024. Interestingly, in the US, the models are categorized more like scooters due to their form factor, including wheel size, handlebar height, and its position relative to the seat. The closest to launch is the Senmenti Zero. The electric motorcycle, or scooter if you prefer, has a 98 horsepower engine, goes 0 to 60 miles or 100 kilometers in 2.8 seconds, has a top speed of double that, and can travel up to triple that on a single charge. The model is compatible with most home charging stations, and the battery charge is up 80% in just 30 minutes. What else will Senmenti owners enjoy? A 7-inch TFT display, 4 riding modes, heated steering wheel, and seat and safety features like ABS and front and rear cameras. Additionally, the company promises to personalize each rider's experience, but exactly how this will be implemented is yet to be revealed. So stay tuned. Also, what new products from CES did you like the most? Leave a comment to let us know, subscribe to the channel, and like this video. More coming soon from the world of high tech. The International Conference on Robotics and Automation just finished in Yokohama, Japan. This annual exhibition of the coolest robots from around the world draws a big crowd, and as always, we managed to get our eyes on the prize. Amazing robots and new technologies that are already changing the world. Welcome to the world of the future with Pro Robots. Let's get it. Deep Robotics brought two of its flagship products to ICRA 2024.
I brought our big dog X13, and it's meaning for industrial application. And this is our little dog Light 3, and it's meaning for customers and researchers. Last year, we combine our quadruped robots with robot learning. We design our Light 3 with our unique appearance and unique joint. It's different from others robot, and we develop our locomotion algorithms to make it more interesting. And in fact, it's very popular.
Light 3 is a robot for exploration and entertainment. Its enhanced mobility, patented joints, and advanced algorithms allow the robot to recover almost instantly from jolts and falls. Watching it can be endless. The robot's functionality can be extended by installing additional modules.
Our big robot can navigate itself with this LiDAR real sense and get to your target position with its navigation module. So it depends on what you command our robot to go. So I think we actually have landed our quadruped in more than 10 projects. Meaning about an electric power plant and our iron and steel company operation. So I think our robot can do some industrial inspection by itself.
The X30, designed for industrial applications, is characterized by its high cross-country capability, its ability to overcome serious obstacles and open stairs, and its ability to perform inspections autonomously. Moreover, the robot will not be hindered by darkness or extreme temperatures from -4 to 131 Fahrenheit or -20 to 55 Celsius. Deep Robotics also presented its report at the conference. In it, in particular, the company revealed that it has made significant progress through the use of reinforcement learning. Thus, by applying a proximal policy optimization method combined with input from depth sensors and training and end-to-end policy, engineers have taught robots to traverse high platforms and deep ditches without the robot accurately perceiving and modeling the environment.
You can contact us with our website, and we are located in China, Hangzhou. Welcome to visit.
However, Lynx Dynamics did not bring its four-legged robot, which has recently learned to stand on its hind legs, and the company's humanoid robot was not at the stand either, which is strange because in theory, a newcomer company should showcase its best of the best, right? Well, were we surprised to see their P1, which brings back memories of AT-ST from Return of the Jedi. The P1 is a self-balancing bipedal robot that recently surprised everyone with its super walkability while casually strolling through the woods. We're on the edge of our seats waiting for a repeat of P1's accomplishments by the company's humanoid robots. Meanwhile, Fourier Intelligence presented its newest humanoid robot, GR1, which is already being mass-produced. The robot is 5'5" or 165 centimeters tall, weighs 120 pounds or 55 kilos, and has 40 degrees of freedom distributed throughout its body. An articulated module mounted on the robot's hip is capable of generating a peak torque of 300 Newton meters, allowing it to move at a speed of 3 miles or 5 kilometers per hour and carry loads weighing 110 pounds or 50 kilos. The GR1 has inbuilt depth cameras in the head and torso and is also equipped with visual algorithms to perceive its immediate surroundings. This allows the robot to quickly recognize different objects and people, as well as avoid obstacles and perform tasks based on visual data. GR1 can grasp objects of different shapes and weights and adjust its force to avoid damaging them. And the robot also supports swarm software. This means that a person can control a group of robots from a single console, assigning tasks to all of them individually and monitoring their progress.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Schmitz and I'm the CEO of Robotics. We are a hardware and software company that makes tactile sensing technology in order to provide the human sense of touch to robots. So we work on tactile sensors, we integrate them in robot hands and grippers, and we also work on a tactile AI. So AI has been very successful in a cyber world, but applications in robotics are still limited. So we believe that it's time for AI also to shine in the real world. So limitations of current tactile sensors are that they're often too big for the integration in thin robot skin. They are not durable. They are difficult to integrate in robot hands and grippers because they need many additional wires and electronics. They don't provide distributed 3D sensing and they're also too expensive. So what are the key features of Robotics? They provide distributed 3D sensing. They have 0.1 gram resolution. They have a wide sensing range and resilient to overloading. They are also very fast. They can be easily integrated in various robot hands and grippers because they are very small. So what are real-world applications for robotics sensors? So one is factory automation. There is a lot of mass customization, so the robot needs to adapt to new objects. Also warehouse automation, where the robots need to grasp things from the shelf and put it in a container for shipping. Another would be delicate fruit picking, for example, tomato fruit picking. So, for example, we integrated the sensors into this gripper over here, which is very thin, and so it can be easily integrated into the gripper. We also integrated a sensor, for example, in this robot hand, and here we have 368 3-axis tactile sensors, and all the measurements are digital, which makes the integration of so many sensing points in the robot hand feasible. The sensors are available in various shapes and sizes. So here we have 1 sensing point, 2 sensing points, 2x2, so 4 sensing points, and 4x4, 16 sensing points. We also customize the sensors, and for example, in this case, we have 7 points in a curved fingertip shape. And then we also have the U-skin multiband, and in this case, the sensors can apply to curved surfaces. Regarding our future plans, in the future, we want to provide more tactile AI, to provide more complete tactile solutions for robots. And then we also plan to integrate it in for humanoid robots, so more humanoid hands for work, but also, for example, at home, for cooking, cleaning, or entertainment. For more details, please go to www.robotics.com.
Kawasaki Robotics booth at ICRA 2024 was graced by the 4th generation Neo-Key autonomous service robot. This little guy can see its surroundings using LiDAR and react in time to avoid collision with people and objects. The robot's being developed to replace humans where there is a shortage of labor. It can wash dishes in restaurants, carry boxes in warehouses, clean hotels, and so on. The best part is that the robot is fully autonomous. At the same time, it can perform complex or non-standard work in semi-autonomous mode or in fully controlled mode, learning on the job. The latest version is even more compact with an increased range of arm movement. At the base of the robot is an omnidirectional cart with 3 spheres. Kawasaki also brought the next generation of their Kaleido robot. Unfortunately, it was just hanging around on the stand. Kaleido, like its close relative the Friends robot, is being developed to care for the elderly. They get the party started every year at the IROS exhibitions also held in Japan. Check out our video from the previous one last year in the description below. Now, according to Kawasaki, the updated Kaleido is smaller and lighter, now weighing only 88 pounds or 40 kilos. It has improved abilities to interact with people, therefore it's even safer for humans and keeps its balance much better during jolts. That was all said though, we didn't actually get to catch Kaleido in action. The exhibition was not without a robotic baby goat, a descendant of the huge robot goat that Kawasaki employees got a ride on a few years back. The new version of BEX 2 will obviously not be able to carry anyone, but it can shuffle behind a person and pull additional equipment. Direct Drive Tech brought its compact-wheeled robots with incredible mobility to the exhibition. This is the advanced Tita robot with 8 degrees of freedom, which not only positions itself perfectly in its environment, but can also make decisions by itself. We got a short interview with the developers of the robots to learn more about what they can do. Check it out.
Well, our aim is to harness the speed and agility of two-wheel robots while leveraging the adaptability of their leggy counterparts. The dual legs serve as the fundamental modular unit, offering strong deformability, allowing for configurations such as two wheels, bipedal, quadruped, and multi-leggy designs. It also features our proprietary Quasar direct drive motors integrated with ultrasonic top sensors and stereo cameras for SLAM, making it more intelligent. Additionally, we've optimized it for various applications, reinforcing its low capacity and boosting 100 TOPS of AI performance. They are both excel in motion control, however, Diablo robot lacks built-in sensors, making it more budget-friendly. On the other hand, Tita robot is more premier with bunches of updates. So if it is for in-depth research purposes, I will recommend Tita robot.
Tita Robot's main advantage is that it supports secondary development in multiple modes, allowing users to control it on any level via RPC, which is remote procedure call, or embedded programming. It also has exceptional abilities in maintaining balance and instantaneous response. The robot avoids obstacles and easily adapts to difficult terrain.
Diablo Robots is already on sale, while Tita Robots is available for pre-order, with estimated shipping in the next 2 months. If you want to know more, please click the link in the description. Thank you.
Also, wheeling and spinning around the company's booth and a bit of standing on its hind legs is a mysterious but very cute 4-legged robot. Although it looks like that, in fact, it's 2 Tita robots combined into one design. If you're interested in learning more about these nimble little guys, we'll leave a link in the video description. Hyundai Robotics brought its original Tready crawler robot. The highlight of the machine is the presence of 4 legs, thanks to which the robot can step on obstacles that it cannot overcome on tracks. Tready can overcome even stairs and flip if it suddenly falls on its back. The robot can be programmed to perform tasks and you can control it remotely. It can also be fitted with an arm, a camera, and any other thing you might need. Oh, and Tready is waterproof. It can spend up to half an hour at a depth of up to 3 feet or a meter. What do you guys think would be a useful application for this bad boy? Enchanted Tools was once again showing off its Miroki robot. The robot for homes, hospitals, hotels, and nursing homes moves on a spherical base, is on point with understanding dimensions, and can grasp various objects with a 97% success rate. According to Enchanted Tools, the robot is being tested at 6 experimental sites and 3 research labs. Also, this year, Miroki is expected to start real work at the Broca Hospital for the Elderly in Paris. The robot will reportedly be able to fetch water for patients, clean lunch trays in hospital cafeterias, and deliver gloves or other personal protective equipment to doctors. Good luck! Let's see if that improves the hospital's 2.8 rating on Google. And Poland Robotics got a grand opening at ICRA this year, unveiling an updated version of their Ricci 2 robot. According to the developers, the robot has completely new biomechanical arms with 7 degrees of freedom, each of which can lift up to 6.5 pounds or 3 kilos. But most importantly, Ricci 2 has enhanced perception and the ability to handle and interact thanks to its inbuilt artificial intelligence. All of this should make it attractive to research labs and potential customers. This year's conference focused a lot on solutions for rehabilitation and assistance for the elderly and less mobile, which is not surprising given Japan's main problem, an aging population. There were also some unusual ideas. For example, an interesting teleoperation system was presented at the Hitachi stand. Here, the robot had literally a small twin brother behind its back, moving the latter's limbs with the former's hands, easily controlling the big robot. Power Rangers, anybody? And Shadow Robot also got its premiere at the show. The company, which for years has been creating the most dexterous, sensitive, and human-like hands, actually has decided to abandon the idea of replicating our anatomy. The new Shadow Hand is designed based on research and ideas from Google's DeepMind team, and it has only 3 fingers. These guys must be watching cartoons. According to the developers, this design has improved the speed, flexibility, accuracy, and most importantly, strength and durability of the robotic hand. The arm boasts precise torque control and can withstand compressive forces of up to 10 newtons per finger. The 4 joints of each finger are driven by motors located at the base and connected through quote-unquote tendons, and the fingers are able to go from fully open to closed in 500 milliseconds. At the same time, each finger is an autonomous unit and includes a number of tactile sensors as well as a stereo camera aimed at the inner surface of the silicone skin. Both the sensors and the fingers themselves are easily replaceable. And here, we think of the Atlas. It looks like Boston Dynamics engineers have set a new trend in robotics. Why replicate a human in a robot when you can make it much more practical and functional? Agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments. Surprisingly, there were very few robot chefs at ICRA, which disappointed our camera guy and left him a bit hungry. But one of the Kuka bartender robots was quite engaging, so please pardon some of the pans and zooms. Chinese e-commerce company Meituan only showed its developments on screen, but we decided to say a few words about it anyway. Last year, the company showed record revenue growth rates. The startup that emerged in 2010 has bet big not just on online commerce, but on utilizing all available technological developments in it. It provides more than 200 categories of services, including robot and drone delivery. And Kawada Robotics brought its next-age, fully open research robotic platform to the show. The robots are compatible with various types of software and ROS-enabled devices. The robots have impressive dexterity and precision, and their hands do not resemble human hands whatsoever. Westwood Robotics was virtually the only company at ICRA this year to walk its Themis robot down the hallways. The robot is positioned as an advanced full-sized humanoid for development. With powerful bare actuators and advanced sensors, Themis is maneuverable and safe, moving steadily at human speed and reaching a maximum running speed of 6 miles or 10 kilometers per hour. It also rocked awesome pink sneakers. The robot's able to maneuver independently in a complex environment, constantly assessing both the position of its body and surrounding obstacles. And while Themis was walking around, another Bruce research robot was a bit bored at the company stand. This is also an open platform for developers and students developed together with the Ramila Lab. The robot's quite capable, or so they say. It's a pity that at the exhibition it just sat there, and even though our cameraman spent a long time waving at it, it did not wave back. Of course, the exhibition would be incomplete without Boston Dynamics robots, with robotic arms and not, with additional equipment and not advertising their applications for industry. Robotics engineers also spoke about monitoring industrial and construction sites with the help of robot dogs at ICRA. Animal Robot is constantly improving its movement algorithms based on reinforcement learning and is capable of performing missions autonomously, even without an internet connection. The latter is possible thanks to an onboard artificial intelligence-based localization and interpretation computer that works without a network. Japanese startup Telexistence was presenting its retail solution at the exhibition. Incidentally, the startup's first concept was a robot in the style of Japanese anime. Named after the classic Ford car, Model T was a semi-autonomous robot with 20 degrees of freedom and remote controls. It was tested out at the Family Mart chain of Japanese stores, and the robot had cool arms that combined fingers with vacuum suction cups, allowing it to easily grasp and handle anything, really. However, in the process of testing, the robot lost its cool design and an arm, but it also became cheaper. The new model, however, is called TX Scara. It can work in narrow aisles of stores, replenishing stock on the shelves under the control of the company's artificial intelligence. If the robots encounter a non-trivial task, it can then be joined by an operator. Tokyo Robotics demonstrated its humanoid robot Torobo at ICRA 2024. Despite its outdated design, the robot's quite capable. In particular, it precisely controls resistance and force applied to objects, so it can operate even where there's active human contact. Still, there's a feeling that the bot falls somewhat short of modern-day requirements. The Hello Robot company was exhibiting the latest version of its cheapest, simplest, and unusually functional home robot, Stretch. The third generation of the robot got an Intel RealSense D405 camera mounted right behind the gripper, which helps a lot with both autonomy and remote teleoperation. And the robot also came with a set of different end effectors for different tasks. Despite being as simple as possible, Stretch is able to move around the house with ease and perform many tasks. From what we gather, it's in high demand not only among development teams, but also participates in real-life projects such as the one to improve the life of the paralyzed Henry Evans. PAL Robotics brought its Tiago research robot. According to the developers, the robot combines perception, navigation, handling, and human-robot interaction in a modular and user-friendly design. Tiago is easily customizable to suit your needs and can start work from day one. The main purpose of the robot is to assist hospital staff and care for the elderly. Also making its mark at the show was the head and right arm of the Gundam robot, which was dismantled in Yokohama on March 31st. The 60-foot or 18-meter long robot has been putting on rousing shows for tourists since 2020 and has managed to attract nearly 2 million visitors. Gundam had a total of 36 moving elements while weighing 25 tons. The robot could walk in place, pose as a superhero, and move all of its fingers and toes. Okay folks, it's a lot to cover the entire exhibition in one day, but we'll be sure to tell you what else was exciting in our next videos. What was your most memorable project from ICRA 2024? Let us know in the comments, subscribe to our channel, and join us on Telegram for more news from the world of high tech. The WRC, which celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, clearly demonstrated the main vector of robotics development for the next decade, which is anthropomorphic robots. UBTech brought their robots to the show, which are already taking over the automotive industry. For instance, Zeekr, a subsidiary of Geely, has started testing Walker S light humanoid robots in its factories. These high-tech androids, developed in collaboration with UBTech Robotics and Miracle Automation Engineering, are capable of performing complex tasks in smart manufacturing and logistics. With advanced visual recognition and autonomous navigation, the Walker S Lite can carry loads of up to 30 pounds or 15 kilos and work together with automated vehicles. And this is just the beginning. Other car makers such as NIO and Dongfeng are also actively testing Walker humanoids to improve assembly processes and quality control. By next year, up to 1,000 of these robots can be working in factories across China. And since UBTech's recent partnership with Baidu, Walker S can now talk and reason in real time. Virtual humanoid robots are a fantasy no more. It's a reality. Unitree Robotics from China decided to prove that to the entire world, and in just a few years released 2 humanoid robots. The first is a full-sized anthropomorphic robot H1. It can not only walk, but also dance, keep its balance, and do backflips. The robot itself is inexpensive by standards of humanoid machines, but it's not cheap either. 90 big ones. H1 has a younger brother. You guessed it, G1. It's unique in that this model is already produced en masse, and the robot will be available at a very affordable $16,000. G1 can confidently overcome obstacles of different heights, go up and down cluttered stairs, jog, and balance while being pushed and shoved. About the delivery, we just published a video of our latest production version of G1, which we plan to deliver to customers in the next 1 or 2 months. In the future, our G1 will be used as a universal humanoid robot for various users, including, for example, tech enthusiasts, individual users, and some AI technology companies to conduct robot research. About the H1 model, this year we had updates and optimization of H1 version, and then more work on the design of legs and arms. Also, thanks to H1, we have open source code for teleoperation of the robot so that users can share experiences of model grasping as well as experiments with data collection. In the future, it's going to be 2 areas. The first one is obviously the design of the robot itself. For example, the duration of use, the power, the ability to move some joints, and for example, degrees of freedom. And the second direction, is AI. Also, Unitree is known for its 4-legged robots for service, entertainment, and other industries. Here too, we recently released a new product, the Go2W. The robot on wheels can not only drive fast, but also walk on legs, keeping its balance even on the stairs. The Go2W is actually based on some feedback from users who wanted to add a wheel group to the base of the Go2 itself. The robot can now go from 6 miles or 10 kilometers to 18 miles or 30 kilometers on wheels. In addition, the wheeled version can also climb a slope, say, or stairs. By the way, Unitree has 4-legged robots for industrial applications as well. You can learn more about them in the description to this video. Our long-term goal is definitely to stick to the development of our own 4-legged robots. In addition, our humanoid robots are also an important product line for us, so in the future we will continue to develop both product lines, and in the future we also hope that our robots, quadrupedal and humanoid robots, will serve us humans. I also hope that we can bring a change in the way people live and work with our products and improve our quality of life in general. Pulling the weight for all the non-Chinese humanoids out there was Tesla. Unfortunately, it didn't perform for the public, but stayed under a glass hood, which surprisingly didn't affect its popularity. Tesla enjoys special treatment in China. Recently, the company was included in the list of approved for government procurement. Therefore, the company, in addition to the robot, brought Model Y and its famous Cybertruck. By the way, Tesla's truck still lacks not only the function of unmanned driving, but even minimal driver assistance. This is despite the FSD being paid for by customers and its promises of early implementation from Elon Musk. As for the robot, so far Tesla seems to be facing problems in training it for a large number of tasks. To overcome this, the company is willing to hire anyone who agrees to wear a motion capture suit and VR headset day and night. Interestingly, the mandatory requirement for the candidate is to have a driver's license. Why do you think that is? Out of the other requirements, height from 5'7" to 5'11" or 170 to 180 centimeters, and daily reporting abilities. The lucky ones will get from $25 to $48 per hour plus cash and stock bonuses and benefits. Interested? Give Tesla a call. But back to the exhibition. Zhejiang Humanoid Robot Innovation Center unveiled its new hero, the Navi AI Navigator 2 humanoid robot. On the stage, it seems like it was showing off a bit. It was giving a speech, making tea, playing chess, trying to copy human movements as much as possible, and more. Navi AI has 41 degrees of freedom, stands at 5'5" or 165 centimeters tall, and weighs 130 pounds or 60 kilos. Its processing power is 275 trillion operations per second, which should provide the robot with lightning-fast reactions. Navi AI is also equipped with intelligent navigation, allowing it to confidently interact with its environment, including recognizing and picking up objects. But it was the EX Robots booth that attracted the most attention. No surprise there, the company's robots are becoming more and more realistic every year. At the WRC, there were copies of famous personalities, doppelgangers of the company's employees, and just characters created for fun. The robots repeated facial expressions of visitors, told stories, actively mimicking the speaker. Now the company, which has opened its own museum of the future, produces 400 to 500 robots a year, mostly for museums and educational institutions. Private orders, however, were not reported. After all, thanks to 3D scanning, printing, and digital design, EX Robots can create a copy of absolutely anybody. By the way, the company's robots are not just beautiful dolls. EX Robots engineers are now actively working not only on realistic skin, but also on technologies such as recognizing and transmitting emotions in speech, so that robots can show empathy and create the illusion of real communication with the people around them. And just in case you're wondering, you can make your own doppelganger in a month for about 200,000 bucks. Want to know more? Check out our previous video in the description. Competing with EX Robots were King Bao robots, which also claim to be realistic. King Bao is a subsidiary of Haier, where the core business is robotic vacuum cleaners. However, this does not prevent the company from promoting humanoid robots and even promises to endow them with at least limited artificial intelligence. The company's website says that Shanghai King Bao engine robot provides comprehensive intelligent services for customers across many industries, covering, quote, software plus hardware plus content plus services in a single intelligent ecosystem. This probably means that the company wants to supply its humanoid robots as service machines that are capable of greeting and counseling people at hotels and airports, for example. Basically, soon, at least in China, there will be anthropomorphic robots instead of billboards. Anybody want to take that bet? Let us know in the comments. Also on display was China's first full-sized open-source humanoid robot, King Lon from Humanoid Robots Limited. The robot doesn't look cool, but the manufacturers claim that it has 43 active degrees of freedom and is capable of moving quickly, avoiding obstacles, and even walking over hills. Its processing power reaches 400 tera operations per second. Now that is real power. It's also reported that the robot is able to perform various actions with its hands, but it is unlikely that it does this on its own. Most likely, the robot itself is only able to maintain balance under kicks, but doing things on its own is, for the time being, fiction. Soon, however, it will be able to. After all, the company has opened the source code for the robot for developers to conduct experiments with King Long and teach it new tasks. Humanoid Robots Limited plans to release a new robot every year, develop 100 application scenarios per year, and increase the number of learning robots to 1,000 in the next 2 years. What can 1,000 robots do to make this world better? Moving on, Li Zhu unveiled Quavo, a robot that runs Harmony operating system and Pangu artificial intelligence developed by Huawei itself. The OS is open source, so Quavo's main purpose is said to be research. However, it's also reported that the robot is already being used for some tasks at the NIO car factory, and there's been reports that this pilot project was successful. According to Chinese officials, humanoid robots are well suited for quality control and multitasking functions in car manufacturing plants. Let's hope so. Another humanoid robot, this time for home, was brought to the exhibition by Unix AI. This robot is positioned as a cook and a housekeeper. This bad boy sports a pair of wheels, but the company is already working on a two-legged version. The level of technology today is such that even small companies can build a humanoid robot and teach it, well, walking. But the key tech here, of course, shouldn't be legs or even hands, but artificial intelligence. And here, we're still waiting for a breakthrough. Another robot, which is positioned as a home assistant, was comfortably seated in a chair, the Robot Era stand. X-Bot-L, which was the first humanoid to conquer the Great Wall of China, can walk on uneven roads and stairs, even in poor lighting conditions. According to the developers, all this is possible thanks to the proprietary reinforcement learning technology, which also allows the robot to make decisions in unfamiliar environments. And Lynx Dynamics brought its advanced CL1 humanoid robot to this year's WRC. According to the developers, the robot can now filter unpredictable external interference, move specified objects, independently adjust its position, and plan for the task at hand. Just like the X-Bot-L, CL1 is positioned as a home assistant, which unfortunately just hung there. Lynx P1, however, was all over the place. This self-balancing robot has incredible resistance to mud and rough terrain, as well as to kicks from humans. For now. Moving on, Beijing Galbot Company and its G1 robot made an impression at the conference this year as well. It differs from most humanoids due to its arm design, with over 6 feet or 190 centimeters arm span and an available reach of up to almost 8 feet or 240 centimeters. To keep its balance, the robot is mounted on a platform which can fold and grow upwards, extending its range of motion. And according to the developers, the robot also has brains. They allow the G1 to demonstrate a generalized handling ability in autonomous mode. What do developers mean by that? Certainly not the ability to perform any action on any object. There's no such AI for robots as of yet. From what we managed to gather about the robot, we can conclude that it can recognize and grasp objects with its hands, which in general is not breaking news, but for G1, it's a big step forward. Kepler Exploration Robot Company, also from China, has unveiled its new hero, a humanoid general-purpose robot, Kepler 4Runner. Standing at 5'10" or 175 centimeters tall and weighing almost 190 pounds or 85 kilos, this robot is equipped with patented linear actuators and has 40 degrees of freedom, allowing it to perform complex tasks. 4Runner is capable of gently grasping small objects and carrying heavy objects as well. It navigates thanks to the Nebula AI system, which provides object recognition and navigation in complex environments. Interestingly, the robots will already be mass-produced in the fall, although the world first saw them in January this year at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. We had a separate look-see into the 4Runner. You can find that video in the description below. As for the price, it's not cheap. Close to $30,000. And Cleabot from Chinese company FD Robot was also at the show this year. It stands out with an impressive 71 degrees of freedom. This droid is equipped with sensor tech such as 3D vision and LiDAR, allowing it to accurately map its environment and avoid obstacles. Cleabot also features force feedback and voice interaction capabilities. The robot's designed for a wide range of industrial applications including film, military, education, logistics, and healthcare, but its widespread adoption is hampered by cost. Between 70 and 140,000 big ones if you want to get a Cleabot of your own. Realman Company is one of the mavericks of this exhibition that stays true to its roots. The robotic arms is all the company does, and it sticks with it. Light, flexible, and so strong that it can lift 130% of its own weight. These robotic arms can end up with any industrial grip or a fully anthropomorphic hand with 5 fingers. They can work safely alongside a human, and 1 or 2 of these robot arms can be mounted on any platform, including a humanoid one. And you get a robot with dexterous, sensitive, and trainable arms right from the start. Stardust Intelligence presented an updated humanoid robot assistant, Astrobot S1, which is designed to create comfort in your home. This wheeled robot not only cooks and cleans, but also takes care of pets. Astrobot has super fast arms that can move at speeds of up to 32 feet or 10 meters per second and lift weights of up to 22 pounds or 10 kilos. At the same time, the positioning accuracy of its hands is an incredible 0.001 inches or 0.03 millimeters. With such accuracy, it doesn't even need fingers. The robot easily squats to reach low objects and masterfully uses kitchen utensils. All actions are performed autonomously, but their range is still limited. So you can teach the robot new tasks by controlling it through a VR headset. Sooner or later, robots like these will probably appear in our homes. What do you guys think? If this doesn't cost like an airplane, would you get one? Not only humanoids were present at the conference, but also other useful robots that already found its place in the field. For example, firefighting robots from Chinese Intelligence. These machines are designed for rescue operations and firefighting, and they can work independently or in cooperation with a fire brigade. In tests, the robots prove that they react faster than humans to new fires and are able to work closer to the source. The robots can be controlled remotely by viewing video from its cameras in real time, and the machines themselves can work up to 10 hours on a single charge. Why doesn't every city have these? Paxini didn't mess about with the name for its Toro 1 humanoid robot for too long. Apparently, this is supposed to change the way you interact with machines. With 47 degrees of freedom and a unique VTLI visual and tactile multimodal perception model, this robot is able to literally feel the world around it. Toro 1 senses pressure, friction, softness, and even temperature. Highly accurate positioning down to 0.002 inches or 0.05 millimeters and force control down to 0.01 newtons make it ideal for the most delicate of handling. Its modular design makes it easy to customize its functionality for any task, and its dynamically adaptive height makes it a universal assistant in any space. According to the developers, the robot has 15 types of tactile sensors and perceives almost 8,000 tactile signals. This allows it to recognize and grasp objects with incredible accuracy and tenderness. The robot has no legs, but its sporty chassis ensures smooth and fast movement, and it's another contender for smart home assistant. At the World Robot Conference, of course, there was a large area with industrial robots. In recent years, Chinese manufacturers have been increasing their influence on the market, including their domestic market, because the PRC is one of the world's largest consumers of robots. And now it's actively trying to squeeze its Japanese and European markets. The country is also developing its own component base. For example, despite the use of NVIDIA processors, the humanoid robot GITEX, for example, consists of more than 80% of Chinese-made components. Medical robots are also developing very actively in China. The country's government does not want to depend on the West in any industry, so the country has its own developments for all types of robotic surgery. For example, robotic knee joint replacement surgeries have already been performed for 2 years. And this year, the world's first remote surgery to remove a tumor from lungs was performed. China is actively developing and testing their analog of the Da Vinci robot. And by the way, the medical robot market is projected to reach $3 billion next year. China is clearly concerned about its technological sovereignty and is investing billions of dollars in key industries, from electric cars to humanoid robots. But it's the latter that the government seems to be most interested in. Since the country is experiencing a serious decline in working population, the shortage of people here is planned to be replaced by anthropomorphic robots. And if 10 years ago the World Robot Conference only saw European and US robots, today the vast majority of robotic solutions are developed in China. There's more, but we're out of time, so let us know in the comments what your favorite exhibit was. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel and check out our Instagram for more from the world of high tech. We've said it before and we'll say it again. UAE is poppin', baby. Just last week, not one, but two high-tech exhibitions wrapped up in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, GITEX and IROS. And as always, we've got our eyes on the prize, bringing you the best of both worlds. Let's get it. First, GITEX Global 2024. This is one of the world's largest exhibitions of tech and startups in the field of robotics, AI, air transportation, smart cities, and more. One of the most impressive electric car concepts at the show was the Nissan Hyperforce, a 1360 horsepower supercar with the design of a real Batmobile. The body of the Hyperforce is made of super strong carbon fiber and goes from 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 2 seconds. The electric car is powered by a weight-optimized, high-performance, solid-state battery pack. Nissan E-Force's advanced and optimized all-wheel drive system provides optimal traction, while the driver can choose between two driving modes, R for racing and GT, Grand Touring. In race mode, the interior is illuminated in red and the display shows all the necessary specs for your Schumacher needs. In GT, the interior is blue and everything about the car provides a comfortable long-distance driving experience. Thumbs up if you want to test drive this bad boy. Also shining at GITEX was the Quintessenza concept car from Turin-based automaker Italdesign. From the front, it looks like a supercar, but from the back, it offers passengers the comfort and convenience of a pickup truck. The comfortable seats can do 180 and also unfold for you to enjoy a panoramic view of the landscape and stargazing on your trip. Now that's cozy. The company states that it built its design around the passenger and made everything to make him or her inside as comfortable as possible. The interface of the car is on top of the steering. Throw your smartphone in there for a standard set of dashboard gizmos or reorder, revamp, and give it a makeover to suit your needs with a smartphone. Why go through all this trouble, you ask? Well, the developers thought that this would be the easiest way to personalize the driving experience. As the driver changes, so does the setup. For the past 3 years, GITEX has gone without the Amica robot, not once. Remember when the robot, a global sensation, arrived at the event for the first time? It was immediately hired by the Museum of the Future in Dubai. Almost 1,000 days later, and it still continues to greet visitors. Developed by a British company, Engineered Arts, the robot is equipped with AI to communicate and express emotions. One of its latest skills, Amica has learned to draw, which is fine and dandy, but when is it going to learn how to walk? If you got a crystal ball, folks, let us know in the comments. Even if you've never been to one of these, you most likely wouldn't be surprised to find out that GITEX best practices involve getting a few cocktails made by a robot bartender. Can't cut in line with this barkeep, but also no more free drinks irrespective of how pretty you are, lady. Individual flying machines attracted a lot of attention at the show this year. For example, the air scooter from Zapata, which is designed in a way that anyone can become a pilot. Equipped with a patented hybrid electric propulsion system, the device can reach a maximum speed of 62 miles or 100 kilometers per hour. But the kicker is its compact size and ease of operation. There are also robotic musicians. They, like bartenders too, are becoming an almost mandatory guest at any high-tech exhibition. Also at GITEX, Abu Dhabi Police General Command unveiled the Autonomous Patrol of the Future. The initiative is part of a strategy to improve safety and security. The patrol is designed to be used in both residential areas and off-road. It includes autonomous driving capabilities and has unmanned reconnaissance drones on board. The digital cockpit supports cloud computing and voice control, and of course, the device is claimed to have generative AI, computer vision, and other AI-based technologies. These systems will allow the car to process voice, data, and video, track criminal activity using sophisticated technologies, recognize faces, and read license plates. Cherry on top, the system is capable of remote diagnostics, maintenance, and fleet management. The only thing missing is a teleport at this point. Beam me up, Scotty. Check this out, a Cybertruck specifically designed for the Dubai police. These guys have almost as much class as the Dutch cops when they ordered Porsches. GITEX visitors were also encouraged to get a cuddle session from this cutie patootie, the Pepper robot. Now, there were some weird things at the exhibition as well, like this suit for example. What is this? An exoskeleton? A carousel? Is this for VR? What's the point of this? Let us know in the comments. #ProRobots questions everything. Deep Robotics, a crowd favorite, brought its robot dog Light 3 to the show, where it made friends with Xiaomi's CyberDog. Mobin, a spin-off from the Korean Hyundai Motors, has been showing off its autonomous delivery robots that can navigate obstacles. The developers claimed that their patented wheel system makes their robots very practical for delivery and patrol purposes. General Motors brought a luxury single-seat electric airplane with vertical takeoff and landing to the show, which is part of Cadillac's Halo concept portfolio. The futuristic model was first unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show of 2021, and since then there has been no news on whether it will actually become reality. But the company is definitely ahead of the curve here with these developments. Tentatively, Cadillac plans to use a 90 kilowatt-hour electric motor that will help their concept vehicles reach speeds of up to 55 miles or 90 kilometers per hour. The best part is that while flying, you'll be able to enjoy a panoramic view down below. All aboard! Also on display, Etisalat and UAE native showcased multi-level group drones that operate exclusively on 5G networks. Incidentally, the companies recently teamed up and said that the goal of their partnership is to transform sectors such as passenger air transportation, logistics, surveillance, and other industries, including agriculture, firefighting, gaming drones, and you name it. These guys are planting flags left and right. As the low-altitude economy is booming in Dubai, China's leader in flying cars, XPeng AEROS, couldn't help but crash the party. The company's most striking concept presented at the show, an electric car that can race down the road like a sports car and, when needed, unfurl its blades and fly like a classic eVTOL. It takes just 2 minutes to switch between the two. Now that is a real getaway car. The concept is already proven and tested, but prior to launching sales, the company plans to finalize flight control systems and hash out regulatory paperwork. And while the company has a more practical SUV model with a small helicopter in the back, it's the flying car that truly takes your breath away, doesn't it? Another developer from China, Kepler Technology, has also made an appearance at the show this year. They debuted their latest Gen 5 humanoid robot. Not much is known about it as of yet, but the manufacturer claims that it has a high payload capacity and great coordination. Once we know more, we'll let you know, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. In Dubai and the United Arab Emirates in general, drone delivery technologies and infrastructure are spreading like wildfire. For example, AI and machine learning-based solutions from Zaintech. Their drones for industrial applications collect, store, and process information. Check them out. The UAE is also actively developing an electric vehicle charging ecosystem. At GITEX, this area was represented by ADNOC Distribution. They're working on an autonomous robot hand that recognizes the car with the help of AI and connects it to a charging port. The robot is weatherproof and lets car owners stay within the comfort of their vehicles in any weather. Promobots RD robots sang songs at GITEX to entertain visitors. The robot promoter is designed to attract customers' attention to the brand. Or maybe we've just spotted the missing Backstreet Boy. Quick! Somebody get him a contract! A robot for the same purpose, but with a simpler design and more sophisticated functionality, was introduced by Kobe Technolab Limited. Meet Odigo. This nifty little thing has an artificial intelligence system that is advanced in emotion recognition and real-time interaction. Odigo is capable of personalizing both content and audio for each visitor. The robot is positioned as an intelligent companion capable of creating a more meaningful connection between brands and their customers. It's hard to judge without trying it, but it's safe to say that the robot will find its place in Dubai, a city where innovation is introduced at every turn. Once a door closes, another one opens. Next, UAE's capital, Abu Dhabi, hosted the massive International Robotics Conference, IROS 2024. The first event of its kind in the Middle East and North African region attracted more than 10,000 participants, including major tech companies from all around the world. The conference and exhibition opened with an introductory video with historical references and demonstrations of technologies already in use in the UAE. And traditionally, the highlight of IROS is all sorts of robot competitions. At least two of them are a must-watch. The first is a maze and an obstacle course for four-legged robots. Look at the Unitree robot dog scrambling. The most treacherous trap here were the piles of small plastic boxes that surely ended somebody's career. And by the way, robots on wheels performed quite well at the obstacle course as well. In no way were they inferior to the quadrupeds. Now, the second competition was robot soccer, and here it's interesting that usually tournaments are held between identical robots. For example, humanoid robots from Booster Robotics, which are programmed by different teams. But this time, the audience was surprised by a tournament between Unitree's humanoid and four-legged robots. Who do you think won? Robot dogs were newcomers to the game, so anybody want to bet on beginner's luck? If you don't, then you've made the right choice. The humanoids won. By the way, the Booster Robotics robots are pretty fast. They can do horizontal and vertical splits and rotate their joints 360. Not sure how that's useful in soccer. We've never seen Ronaldo do splits. Have we? High Torque Robotics brought their two-legged mini robots to IROS this year. They run on the company's proprietary single-board computer-based operating system and can walk, dance, and win the hearts of the audience. In fact, these little guys are very agile. They run, jump, and flip, all thanks to the 12 motors in their legs. Meanwhile, the robot supports reinforcement learning and navigation functions. Unitree Robotics seems to have a finger in every pie. Not even before they were done at GITEX, they were already setting up shop at IROS. The developers brought their multi-caliber robots on legs and wheels, as well as two of their humanoid robots. The older model, the H1, which can do backflips, and its younger brother, the G1, which recently learned to do a 4.5 feet or 1.4 meter stand-in jump. Have you ever done one? Because that's quite an accomplishment, especially for a robot, apart from the somersaults, of course. Direct Drive brought the Tita robot to the show. This nimble little guy on wheeled base can not only drive fast, adjusting to the terrain, but also walk up steps or over obstacles. Any additional equipment can be easily attached to the robot and launched, for example, to patrol an area. Tita can collect 3D data of objects in real time, achieving accuracy of 0.04 inches or a single millimeter. The robot can make its own decisions within a given task and is able to navigate and recognize objects under the most adverse lighting conditions. What a capable little guy. Elephant Robotics unveiled its Mercury series humanoid robot at the show this year. Despite the rather plain appearance, the robots can do quite a few things, all thanks to the use of NVIDIA Jetson Xavier and Jetson Nano as the main control modules. Mercury B and X1 can map terrain, understand where they are, and plan a path around obstacles. And of course, the robots can be taught to do something with their hands. However, the payload capacity is small, about a couple of pounds or a kilo depending on the model. Istituto Italiano di Tecnologia and Fourier Intelligence also brought their humanoid robots. They were presenting the Ergo Cub project, which aims to ease the labor of workers in the future by replacing them with robots. I bet they're excited. And Fourier was demonstrating an improved version of its GR robot. The Center for Robotics and Biosystems at Northwestern University in the US presented results on robot avatars at IROS. The DEX Next teleoperated system allows a robot to be precisely controlled without any prior training. In this case, a human acts as usual while the robot adapts to the task, taking into account its own capabilities. And the haptic feedback seriously improves the result of the interaction. Khalifa University in Abu Dhabi, which incidentally was the organizer of the conference, presented its Hubo robot. This bio-inspired robot is designed to help conserve the population of the endangered red-winged bustards. It cases bird flocks, sneaks in when the time is right for some intelligence gathering, and sends the info out to zoologists for further analysis. Now, there was a lot more going on at both shows, but we're out of time, folks, so subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and check out our Instagram for more from the world of high tech. When it comes to AI, China stands out. Just recently, Shanghai hosted the World Artificial Intelligence Conference, or WAKE. The undercurrent of the event was global AI governance for the benefit of all, but it had a bunch of robots and autonomous driving. Over 500 companies joined this year, including the likes of Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, which brought its second-generation Optimus and even a Cybertruck. As always, we got our eyes on the prize, and in this video, we'll tell you all about WAKE 2024. Let's get it. What's going on, folks? You've probably seen news about big companies failing to protect their clients' data. That's why we get so many spam texts and calls, distracting us from what actually matters. Have you heard about Ticketmaster yet? Recently, they were hacked and the data of 560 million users was put up for sale on the dark web. This includes full names, addresses, emails, phone, and credit card numbers. At best, this leads to more spam. At worst, fraud. So what is Ticketmaster doing about it? Nada. They said they didn't think the hack would have a material impact on overall business. Companies like Ticketmaster happily collect our data, but do nothing to protect it. That's why our team recommends using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura alerts you when your data has been breached or leaked on the dark web. It gives you fast fraud alerts if anyone tries to use your data to access your credit or bank accounts. And it removes your information from data broker websites, reducing spam. Aura is a must-have for privacy. It isn't just about cutting spam, it's privacy protection 360. Aura offers a transaction monitor, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, parental controls, identity theft insurance, all in one app at an affordable price. And guess what? No need to download a bunch of different apps. Aura is just one. Don't worry about Ticketmaster or other data breaches. Aura is always on, always doing the hard work of keeping you safe. We value our privacy and we value yours. Start your 2-week free trial by following the link on the screen, also linked below in the description. Take care of yourself and your privacy. Aura. Home advantage does bring out a certain feel to whatever you're doing. This year, China set a record for the technologies presented. Almost 100 major language models, 50 brand new products, 18 humanoid robots, and more. Today, the PRC is trying to build an entire ecosystem of talent in the field of artificial intelligence, and one of the ways to do it is by giving out awards. Check this out. Superior AI Leader Award, Wake Yunfan Award, 4th Best Practices of Applied Algorithms Award, Youth AI Innovation Competition, and Puyan Large Model Challenge are all held annually, all to encourage young people to pursue AI. There are dozens of AI assistants based on large language models in China today. For example, Alipay, developed by Ant Group, offers more than 8,000 services in areas such as travel, healthcare, government, and finance. Or Alibaba's AI assistant for programmers, Tongyi Lingcode, which speaks more than 100 programming languages and helps write, read, debug, and optimize code internally. It even has its own employee ID. As of today, Tongyi Lingcode has been downloaded more than 3.5 million times. The flip side, of course, is a wave of distrust towards generative AI in China. For example, during the conference, a popular science blogger, Dr. Tang Chen of the Institute of Neuroscience at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, expressed his wish for AI to be more modest. Quote, "For example, if you ask the AI a professional question and it doesn't know the answer, it should just acknowledge it rather than generating meaningless content." End quote. With that in mind, Kling AI announced a major update to its software that creates videos from text prompts. Soon, China's Kuashu platform will premiere the first fantasy-style movie created with Kling. Kling promises to make the neural network available to everyone, and there's apparently already 500,000 people in line for testing. Rookie numbers, you say? Some Thomas the Doubter you are. In total, China today has more than 4,500 companies engaged in artificial intelligence with a market of 580 billion yuan, or more than $80 billion US. By comparison, the market for humanoid robots in China is expected to reach just 2.8 billion yuan, or nearly 380 million US this year. By the end of the decade, though, the country hopes to grow it to 75 billion yuan, taking up a third of the global market. We think that sounds like a feasible goal at the moment, since PRC has more than 25,000 robotics companies. If you're surprised at the number, don't be. To generate such rapid development, China opens up innovation centers all around, which actually act as startup accelerators. For example, Humanoid Robots Limited is one of their prodigies. At Wake, they unveiled China's first full-sized, versatile, all-electric, open-source humanoid robot. King Long is 6'1" or 185 centimeters tall and weighs 180 pounds or 80 kilos and supports multimodal mobility, perception, interaction, and handling. The robot is claimed to have 43 active degrees of freedom, a maximum joint moment force of 400 Newton meters, and a processing power of 400 TOPS, i.e. 400 trillion operations per second. King Long can walk quite fast, avoid obstacles, and go up and down hills. The robot technically should also be able to withstand being kicked and be able to work with its arms. The company has also launched a website to create a developer community, as the robot is open source and is waiting for enthusiasts willing to teach it new tasks. But the best part is that Humanoid Robots Limited has a plan to release a new robot every year. Well, hopefully they will be new and more advanced versions of King Long, because so far the robot doesn't look all that convincing. As early as next year, the company plans to develop 100 scenarios for training the robot and collecting data, and by 2027, there will be more than 1,000 such scenarios. This means that there will be 1,000 robots training in the Innovation Center at the same time. Knowing how industrious the Chinese are, we're pretty sure this will actually work out. King Long obviously wasn't the only one at the exhibition. Tesla's Gen 2 Optimus graced Shanghai with its presence as well. Interestingly, the only representative of humanoid robotics from the United States stood behind the glass with majestic immobility. Still, there was a very long line of people lining up for selfies with the robot. Cybertruck was close by, also had a line, but nothing crazy. By the way, Musk himself was supposed to speak at the event this year, and although he was present at the previous two conferences in an online format, this year that didn't come through for some reason. Nobody was really upset about this because, well, check this out. A parade of Chinese humanoid robots. FD Robot demonstrated its Tleebot at the exhibition, saying that it's one of its most nimble creations. The 71 degree of freedom robot is equipped with sensor technologies including 3D vision and LiDAR, which provide accurate environmental mapping and object recognition to avoid obstacles. The robot also has force feedback and voice interaction. It was difficult to evaluate this at Wake as the robot only waved its arms and legs for some reason while on a pole. Company representatives did confide that it's still very difficult to introduce robots because of high cost. For example, Cleabot, depending on the complexity of its functions, costs between 500 to a million yuan, which is 70 to 140,000 US, whereas the average market price corporates are willing to splurge hovers around 30,000 US. Fierce competition for limited resources builds solid market entry barriers, even in China. Many attendees that we've interviewed at the conference said in general, humanoid machines are still in R&D stage and are not yet profitable, although they're already being used in education, entertainment, healthcare, and factories. For example, GITEX Robotics, a Chinese company with total sales of 760,000 robots, has only been able to sell 10 units of its humanoid robot Walker, which became commercial years ago. Now GITEX has developed a new version of the robot with an S prefix for factories and is running pilot projects with it at least with 3 car makers, including Volkswagen. Let's see how that goes. And Lynx Dynamics did not bring its humanoid to Wake, even though they have one. But the company made the right move. It launched its Nimble Baby P1 to run around the exhibition area. The robot easily walks on any terrain and can withstand all the hardships that happen along the way, from mud to unfriendly people. The robot has high-performance joint modules, high-frequency real-time communication systems, and simple software development interfaces. All of this makes it an ideal test subject for developing bipedal locomotion control. Galaxy Universal has unveiled its GAL G1 robot. What sets it apart from other humanoids is its arm design, with 6 feet or 190 centimeters arm span and an available operating range of up to 8 feet or 240 centimeters. To keep its balance with this span, the robot is not mounted on legs but on a platform that can fold or open up, extending its range of motion, whatever the situation. And Data Robotics brought an updated version of its XR4 service robot. The humanoid, which traditionally lights up every robot show in China, now has legs, and its arms have been refined to serve not only for artistic purposes, but also for business. According to the company, the robot not only knows how to make coffee, but is also capable of carefully handling chicken eggs and can even bake bread. Most likely as a PR move, the city of Shanghai issued the first batch of licenses for demonstration applications of unmanned intelligent network cars. Translation: licenses for drones that do not require the presence of a human inside. And we wondered in the beginning, why was there a designated area outside of the exhibition venue for Pony and Psych AI? Because there, you could see them in action in simulated yet challenging conditions. More on drones, the 5-seat Autoflight made its debut at the conference. This manned electric aircraft with vertical takeoff and landing just so happened to have set the world record for the longest electric eVTOL flight, covering 150 miles or 250 kilometers on a single charge. Equipped with 10 lifting propellers and 3 pusher propellers with a 160 kilowatt-hour battery, it can carry a payload of 770 pounds or 350 kilos and reach speeds of up to 120 miles or 200 kilometers per hour. The machine is insanely quiet. It produces only 60 decibels while hovering. What do you say we make a quick beeline back to humanoids? Fudan University presented one of the strangest exhibits at the conference, a robot with a face that can express emotions. It's meant for nursing homes, and this Guanghua robot was the only one at Wake developed by the university. Kingbao's Genoid robot also made a splash at the conference as he, or is it a she, greeted visitors. Interestingly, Kingbao is a subsidiary of Haier, and its core business is the production of robotic vacuum cleaners. Roboterra brought its humanoid robot XBot L, which became famous for walking on the Great Wall of China. If you like this bad boy, check out our previous video found in the description below. There was also the K1 robot from Kepler Pioneer. It first appeared incidentally at the Consumer Electronics Show of 2024 in the US. Kepler focused on R&D, manufacturing, and building an ecosystem of applications of versatile humanoid robots. Recently, however, the company's goal has been to develop a robot that could be mass-produced at a price point of $20,000 to $30,000. Liju unveiled Quavo, a robot that is powered by Chinese tech giant Huawei's Pangu large language model. The robot has an open-source operating system, and Quavo's main purpose is said to be research. There was also Agibot's Expedition A2, which stands out with a leg design that resembles the structure of an ostrich. Zhuoide Robotics brought its Exo 2 Lite robot, which so far looks quite primitive, like many of its counterparts. This is partly due to the fact that the company is not even a year old. Again, like many of the other startups at the exhibition. The event also featured performances from Deep Robotics robot dogs, which have recently learned to walk on their hind legs and even keep their balance when angry people kick them. Did we miss anything? Has anyone been to the conference this year? Let us know what your favorite exhibit was and what you'd like to see next time in the comments below. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and check out our Instagram for more from the world of high tech. The 28th Beijing Auto Show took place in China, which became the main event in the automobile industry of the country and, I'm not afraid of this word, the world. At the Beijing Auto Show 2024, numerous companies from China competed with the world leaders of the automotive industry, trying to surprise the public and show the most modern models and technical achievements. We visited the show and selected the most futuristic pieces of transportation to show you. Let's get it. Among the hundreds of Chinese electric cars on the show were of course the big global manufacturers, and there's an interesting trend here. American companies, although showcasing their best prototypes, actually recognize that they could do better. For example, representatives of Ford Motor Company said that they will try to maintain its presence in China but will no longer invest in the market, and it's clear why. The company's sales, like those of many of its compatriots, especially those selling petrol models, have sharply declined. They're simply unable to compete with the ever-growing number of Chinese electric vehicles. Plus, the Chinese cars themselves are becoming more and more interesting while competing pretty well on price. Strange as it may seem, rich Chinese prefer European or Japanese brands to their native ones. Therefore, large conglomerates from Europe and Japan, on the contrary, are trying to gain a foothold and increase their presence in the Chinese market. And do you know which strategy they're choosing? World automakers are looking for Chinese partners. For example, Toyota Motor announced that it will team up with Chinese gaming and social networking giant Tencent to work together on the development of artificial intelligence and data processing. Incidentally, Toyota brought its premium Lexus brand to the show. In particular, the futuristic concept LFZL, a car more than 16 feet or 5 meters long with onboard AI artificial intelligence technologies, anticipates the wants and needs of modern-day driver, due to go on sale already next year. And Volkswagen is promoting a partnership with Chinese electric car startup XPeng. By the way, the company brought its cars of the future to the exhibition as well. Meet the X9. It's a brand new MPV that used a new design concept in its production. The car looks really cool and inside is super comfy. To give you an example, it has a very comfortable sofa, a large fridge, color TV, and an AC like no other with multiple directions. The car is very lively and agile. You won't feel that it has a massive size when you drive it on the road. And another interesting thing is that it's a 7-seater. If you need more space, it can be converted into a 4-seat large SUV. XPeng also brought its eVTOL. This concept is already flying, quietly carrying its own weight and the weight of its passengers through the air. In total, it's capable of lifting 9 tons. But the company is still planning to refine it, so there's no market release date as of yet. But sooner or later, you'll be able to buy a car, drive it on the road outside the city, and then take off and fly over the horizon. Switching between ride and flight modes is simple and quick. The folding steering wheel, transparent dashboards, and landing gear add to the futuristic feel that is already off the charts in this concept. The head of Renault recently announced talks with Chinese electric car maker Li Auto and Xiaomi, which unveiled its first electric car at the show. Renault hopes that the cooperation will help the company introduce electric car and smart car technologies. By the way, Renault itself did not come to the exhibition. Can't compete in this type of market. And Xiaomi's electric car caused a real stir at the exhibition. To evaluate the novelty personally, people stood in line for several hours. This is Xiaomi's first stab at electric cars, and guess what? It already received 75,000 orders for SU7 at a price of $30,000 to $40,000. The car offers an engine output of 220 to 495 kilowatt, that's 300 to 673 horsepower, and a range of up to 500 miles or 800 kilometers. Great specs, but why is a phone company making cars at all? Analysts are talking about connectivity. Consumer technology companies want to connect their customers' lives across all their devices, phones, laptops, TVs, and now cars. It's an approach that works well in China, a digital-savvy society where electronic payments are the norm and the convenience of connectivity is more important to most than privacy concerns. Xiaomi's car deeply embedded in the company's ecosystem and is initially connected to Xiaomi smartphones, tablets, as well as Xiaomi's home appliances. For example, you can open the curtains in the living room or start the washing machine while you're in a car. And we know, there's already videos floating around the internet showing the SU7's wing falling off on the move. Some people think it's fake or the competitors are playing tricks. Time will tell. After all, even Elon Musk had the glass of the first Cybertruck shattered, so no one is immune to such failures at launch. Moving on, Nissan has announced a partnership with a Chinese company. The conglomerate chose Baidu for partnership, thanks to which it hopes to implement AI technologies in its cars. By the way, Nissan shined at the Beijing Auto Show with its Nissan Hyperforce concept. The car is equipped with an electric drivetrain with solid-state batteries. It's able to develop a power of 1,000 kilowatt, which is 1,360 horsepower. By design, Hyperforce resembles a gasoline supercar GTR and is positioned as a race car. The double-level aerodynamic design under the hood provides downforce and high cooling efficiency. Hyperforce gets a racing angular steering wheel and a windshield wiper mounted in the middle of the windshield. The car is equipped with an all-wheel drive and there are two driving modes for the car, R and GT. Volkswagen and Mercedes were also present at the show. Representatives of both companies stressed to journalists that they're making great efforts to localize production and maintain the titles of their best-selling foreign cars in China. Partnerships with Chinese tech or car companies have been rumored, but no specifics are available as of yet. At the same time, Mercedes-Benz unveiled 21 new models at the show, including the world's first all-electric G-Class SUV, as well as the first production purely electric Maybach model and the Maybach EQS electric SUV. And Volkswagen promoted its In China for China concept, which aims to adjust to the preferences of users in the PRC. VW held a number of premieres such as the all-wheel drive Audi Q6L e-tron for the Chinese market. The press release states that the car is equipped with advanced technical components such as an 800-volt architecture, powerful electric motors, as well as an advanced battery management system and charging systems. The main innovation of the Chinese version is the 107 kilowatt-hour battery. By the way, the global version comes with only a 100 kilowatt-hour battery. The difference seems to be small, but it allowed to increase the range from 388 miles to 430 miles, or 625 kilometers to 700 kilometers. Also, the new battery supports charging capacity of up to 270 kilowatt hours, which allows you to charge the car from 10 to 80% in just 25 minutes. Also shining on the Volkswagen stand was the new electric Porsche Macan and the Porsche Taycan 4, created specifically for China. The new Taycan promises high performance and luxury lighting. By the way, Volkswagen plans to launch 40 new models in China over the next 3 years and has a lineup of 30 electric cars by 2030 already. And what surprised the Chinese themselves? Well, there are a lot of new products. Zeekr, for example. The company's offices are either already operating or opening in more and more countries and cities in Europe every day. The main novelty of the company at the Beijing Auto Show 2024 was Mix. It's an electric car, the interior of which can be turned into a small room and parking. The front seats turn to face the rear seats and there's a table between them. The company spokesperson said it's an experiment aimed at young families and also compared it to an iPod on wheels. And it's the fifth model for the brand, which is just 2.5 years old. It's part of China's Geely Group and is positioned as a premium electric car brand. According to the company, Mix will go on sale in China by the end of June this year, without mentioning how much. Did you know that Geely owns Volvo? Now, Volvo has designers working in both Sweden and Shanghai. And so for the Chinese market, overloaded with all sorts of beautiful products, they have created an electric SUV EX30. It has a clean, simple design, a sophisticated audio system, and super easy controls via tablet with a simple interface. Safety and simplicity are the EX30's main advantages. It'll cost between $29,000 to $36,000 in China. As for Teslas at the Beijing Auto Show, there weren't any, even though Elon Musk was in China that day. He met in Beijing with Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang and others. It's already known that Elon has agreed to cooperate with China's Baidu, and Tesla will use the company's mapping and navigation systems to launch its full autopilot in the country since regulators have, quote, pre-approved it. One of the stars of the exhibition was a new concept electric hypercar MG EXE 181. The car can go from 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.9 seconds and is characterized by an ultra-low drag coefficient, only 0.181. Such outstanding results are achieved thanks to streamlined shapes, improved dodgers, aerodynamic shields on the wheels, and a long tail with active flaps. It even has brake parachutes to stop the car, but neither the power nor the top speed have been revealed as of yet. They're expected to be at least 300 horsepower and 250 miles per hour or 400 kilometers per hour, respectively. And what else? BMW Group brought the best of the best to the show, a total of 15 series. The stand covered almost all luxury car segments, offering various powertrain options, petrol, all-electric, hybrid, and hydrogen fuel cell options. The centerpiece was the new all-electric i4, which the company is betting on in the Chinese market. It led the mid-size luxury coupe segment in 2023, so let's see how it's gonna go now. But the main star was another debutante, the BMW Vision New Class concept car. The press release says it's rich in digital technology and meets new standards for environmentally friendly production. They'll start making it in 2025, first at the BMW Group plant in Germany and shortly after in China. The design of the new class is reduced to bare essentials, with only the BMW grille and the Hofmeister curve on the rear pillar standing out. Analog controls in the concept are kept to a minimum. In addition to the multi-function buttons on the steering wheel and the central display, the driver can interact with the car via the innovative BMW Panoramic Vision system, and for the first time, it displays information across the entire width of the windshield, and in the new class series, it's complemented by the advanced BMW 3D projection display. The only question is, how much is all of that going to cost per month? BMW also presented its new Mini Aceman at the show. The all-electric crossover closes the gap between the new Mini Cooper and the new Countryman. With a length of just over 13 feet or 4 meters, the Aceman will take a fresh look at small cars due to its all-electric drive and a host of digital features. It's a 5-door, and the space inside is organized to comfortably accommodate 5 people and a bit of luggage. In general, there's enough space for a family to go to a country house, which you most likely own if you can afford to buy this car. And what about the Chinese themselves? Well, Dongfeng showed its new extreme off-roader M Hunter at the motor show. It's a part of the M Hero lineup, and the brand originates from the civilian version of the Chinese Hummer military vehicle. M Hunter will cost about $140,000, and for that money, the manufacturer promises everything you can expect from an off-roader. It's basically a safety cage on wheels made of aviation-grade carbon fiber and equipped with various military-grade technologies. It's intended for collections, but probably there's people out there who'd want to get one of these and drive them around. A Chinese Schwarzenegger, perhaps. And Hongqi, the premium brand of the Chinese Fa company, showed a ton of luxury cars. The main event was the presentation of a separate range called Hongqi Golden Sunflower. It includes, among others, Hongqi LS7 SUV, which is now called Hongqi Guiyao in the domestic market. Such cars in China start at $192,000. The company also brought a bright concept car, Hongqi Golden Sunflower. It's a large, streamlined 4-seat sedan with huge guillotine doors. There's also a front-wheel drive M-Class minivan, the Hongqi HQ9, with up to 252 horsepower. Hyper, a sports brand within GAC, brought its new SSR model, Super, Sport, and Race. The car's powertrain consists of 3 electric motors, 1 from the front axle and 2 on the rear. Their maximum combined output is 1,225 horsepower. The range on a single charge is 314 miles or 506 kilometers. The basic Hyper SSR goes from 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.3 seconds, while the advanced versions, Sprint and Ultimate, in 1.9 seconds. The top speed of all versions, however, is limited to only 155 miles or 250 kilometers per hour. The Ultimate version is a race car. It has special settings of chassis and driving electronics. The price for all Hypers starts at $180,000 and goes all the way up to $230,000. Meanwhile, Lynk & Co. have conquered visitors of the event with a bright show. The company made a presentation of its EMP technology. It will now be furnished in all plug-in hybrid electric vehicles based on the Lynk Emotive platform. The system improves fuel efficiency and reduces emissions while providing a more comfortable and smooth driving experience with increased power and handling. Lynk & Co.'s EMP main drive has a power output of up to 160 kilowatt, and in electric all-wheel drive mode, the total power output reaches 436 kilowatt, enabling rapid acceleration from 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.6 seconds. The cars have a maximum range of up to 300 miles or 245 kilometers. And Juyu, an electric car manufacturer created by Baidu in partnership with Geely, unveiled its second ever Juyu 07 model at the auto show. It's officially positioned as a smart electric sedan with artificial intelligence. Its launch is scheduled for the second half of this year. What do we know about it? Well, the various sensors, including radars and cameras, are placed all over the car, which implies advanced driving assistance capabilities. Inside, the cabin will feature a large 6K resolution 3D screen, a semi-circular steering wheel, and ambient lighting. Juyu also announced at the Beijing Motor Show that it will partner with NVIDIA to create next-gen smart cars. And British company Lotus brought its best to the auto show as well. The Electra R-Type 79 edition, a bespoke model that's design is inspired by the legendary Type 79 race car that won the Formula One Drivers and Constructors Championship in 1978, attracted a lot of attention. The brand also announced the Lotus Chapman Bespoke Service, personalization of any car. Interestingly, it's in China that this first service will be launched. And the company also presented its EMEA Blossom collection, purely electric hypercars with 900 horsepower. Specifically, the first all-electric hypersport SUV, the Lotus Electra R, which features a twin-engine system with a maximum output of 918 horsepower. And where would we be without Lamborghini? Lamborghini brought its new IROS SE plug-in hybrid with 790 horsepower from an electrified drivetrain. The SE goes from 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.4 seconds and reaches a top speed of 190 miles or 312 kilometers per hour. The electric range only, however, is 37 miles or 60 kilometers though. Which car did you like the most? Let us know in the comments, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more from the world of high tech. Shock and awe at the International China Air Show 2024. It just closed, and as always, we got our eyes on the prize. Here's the specs. At least 1,000 exhibitors, more than 500,000 visitors, and a record $40 million worth of deals. That's peanuts in terms of military-industrial complex that was heavily represented at this year's show, and if you happen to be an avid armed forces enthusiast, then look no further. We got you covered on the future of war. Let's get it. Straight out of the gate, it's GTF 600. This hypersonic drone is unique in that it can carry different payloads like missiles, drones, or electronic warfare systems, all while gliding. It can serve as a mothership and launch drones directly, increasing usable range to almost 1,000 miles or 1,500 kilometers. As for GTF 600 itself, a ballistic missile or a rocket booster starts it off. The drone's total weight is 5 tons and it can carry up to 2,600 pounds or 1,200 kilos. It can go as fast as Mach 7, traveling up to 370 miles or 600 kilometers on its own, and as high as 20 miles or 40 kilometers. This bad boy can carry 5 different types of weapons, which makes it a powerhouse for missions from reconnaissance to strikes against land and sea. The materials and the build is the real kicker here though. Apparently, Chinese engineers have achieved the impossible. With the help of thermal protection technology, they've created a nose shield for the hypersonic missile made of steel instead of heavy and expensive tungsten. An even bigger star of the air show this year was the 5th generation stealth fighters made in China and Russia. Check this out. The J-35A Airblade, a new 5th generation multi-role stealth fighter that's already in service with the Chinese. The 35 is equipped with 2 advanced Chinese-designed engines, which local media reports as more efficient than the Russian-made engines used in the rest of the Chinese fleet. The twin-engine ground-based fighter is also reported to have radar evasion capabilities, as well as advanced reconnaissance and stealth technologies. Developers are now testing the next version of the J-35A, designed to be based on an aircraft carrier, which is equipped with folding wings and an ejection system. Chinese official sources say this one will allow it to compete with the US for air dominance. Incidentally, this new version is said to bear a striking resemblance in design to the US F-35A Lightning II from Lockheed Martin, its direct competitor on the international market. Although the exact specs of the J-35 are kept secret, it's said to be superior in a number of parameters to its American counterpart. Do we believe? Yay or nay? Let us know in the comments. Another PLA low observable aircraft at the air show was Chengdu J-20. Unlike the F-35A, the J-20s are equipped with Russian-made engines, which China has relied on after previous unsuccessful attempts to produce its own aircraft motors. A mock-up of the 2-seater option of the J-20's stealth fighter was also presented. Reportedly, the second crew member could control and coordinate the drones from the sky or perform other tasks such as dropping them bombs or navigation. If you thought the list of Chinese stealth fighters ends here, you'd be wrong. An updated version of J-15T naval fighter was showcased as well. This single-deck aircraft can perform tasks to attack ground targets as well as destroy ships. Compared to its predecessors, the J-15T features new avionics, a Chinese-made engine, and ejector seats. The plane can operate from China's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Fujian, which is one of only 2 aircraft carriers in the world equipped with electromagnetic catapults, the second being USS Gerald Ford. To go along with these stealthies, China brought out the J-16D, its electronic warfare fighter bomber. Based on the Russian Su-27 jet, this 2-seater is equipped with a 30mm single-barrel automatic cannon and 12 external mounting points for mounting fuel tanks, equipment, or various weapons such as guided and unguided missiles and bombs. Russia, meanwhile, unveiled its 5th-gen Su-57 multi-role fighter, first time at an international event. The Su-57's speed is more than twice the speed of sound, and its armament is represented by a wide arsenal of all types of missiles. The 57 is characterized by outstanding aerodynamic characteristics, which was demonstrated and was the highlight of the show. During an interview after, the pilot noted that the plane can perform vertical maneuvers without loss of control or altitude, demonstrating exceptional thrust. However, what the Russians were really pushing for was the plane's demonstrated experience against advanced air defense systems. Not surprisingly, the first Su-57 export contract was signed at the air show this year, but the buyer, however, is still kept secret. Another thingamajig from Russia was a drone suppression complex with a name I'm not even gonna attempt. This weapon to counter a group attack of UAVs has already been tested in the field and is now being prepared for the conveyor belt. Quote, "The product is designed for swarm drone attacks controlled by operators. Its EW capabilities will effectively deter single and multiple targets." End quote. The name of the thing I'm not even going to try to pronounce blocks control in video stream channels while interfering with drone satellite navigation modules. And that's all fine and dandy, but here's the big kahuna. 6th Gen Bitey, or as they call it, White Emperor fighter jet. So far it's only a concept, but it shows China's ambitions for advanced aerospace technologies. Turns out, the White Emperor not only accelerates to supersonic speeds, but can actually go beyond Earth's atmosphere. Fully updated avionics that improve machine-to-human interaction and simplified maintenance processes make it easier to use and prep for flights. White Emperor includes a bigger weapons bay, allowing it to carry heavy air-to-ground munitions. This design choice increases stealth because the armament is located inside the fuselage. It also reduces the aircraft's radar signature while maintaining offensive capabilities. The fighter's angular, streamlined design also maximizes stealth and maneuverability. Its pointed nose makes it super aerodynamic, and its delta-shaped, sharp-edged wings lets it accelerate 6 times the speed of sound. Imagine the pilot's face when he hits that 200 Gs, bruh. Moving on, here's another drone, AVIC's Smart Configuration Support UAV, SSUAV for short. It was designed for a variety of missions including maritime attacks, surveillance, swarm landings, airborne communications, and long-range logistics. With that list, it's almost indispensable in today's environment. And to make it all work, the developers gave this 16-ton vehicle modular architecture, high level of situational awareness, and an open ecosystem. That being said, it can carry up to 4 tons. The SSUAV can fly as high up as 9 miles or 15 kilometers for up to 12 hours, reaching max speeds of up to 430 miles or 700 kilometers per hour. Word on the street is that these nifty little gizmos have already been spotted in key regions: the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, and the border with India. Now, if you're not amazed yet, then this next generation drone will rock your socks. It was declassified specifically for the air show this year. Meet CH-7. This innovative combat drone from the Chinese Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation is equipped with the latest in stealth technology. Its low observability is ensured by a hidden air intake in the back, a rear exhaust, and an internal compartment for weapons and sensors. The CH-7 is designed for long reconnaissance missions at high altitudes, sliding deep into enemy airspace to gather intelligence and direct strikes. Turns out the yellow color of the prototype indicates the final stages of testing. Duly noted. And although the drone has not yet been shown in flight, its paper specs are pretty impressive. The mysterious long-range stealth drone reaches speeds of almost 620 miles or 1,000 kilometers per hour and can stay in the air for about 15 hours, all the while carrying 10 tons. You won't be surprised to find out the drone's design resembles that of the US RQ-180 and X-47B UCAVs. We believe that's partly due to US restrictions on exports of advanced tech because that creates favorable conditions for Chinese machines internationally. Plus, it's cheaper. Come to think of it, the Chinese spare neither effort nor money to hustle the market for anything: robotics, electric cars, and now military equipment. Now, I've asked this before and I'll ask this again. Should we be doing something about it? Let us know in the comments. And here's another one. The Armed Utility Helicopter Z-20. In China, it's positioned as a potential solution to the Chinese Navy's inability to protect its warships from underwater attacks. Well, the Pentagon in their last year's report compared the Z-20 to the US SH-60, noting that the former would indeed improve the Chinese anti-submarine warfare capabilities. Its long-awaited 4th-generation military helicopter is equipped with advanced sensors and external suspension units for weapons and other payloads such as extra fuel or aerial refueling. Now, one of the sensations at the show, however, was the announcement of Deep Blue Aerospace, another Chinese company, to kick off suborbital space travel as early as 2027. The fact is that China is actively developing reusable rocket tech which reduces the cost of flights, making them affordable to a wider audience. We gotta pick up the pace, Elon. Another world debut at the show was a unique unmanned combat vehicle codenamed Orca. It's a 200 feet or 58-meter trimaran that combines advanced technology, powerful weaponry, and modularity to perform a variety of missions. Orca is capable of patrolling, anti-submarine, and air defense missions. It can also strike surface targets and participate in rescue operations. In its basic version, Orca is equipped with anti-ship and surface-to-air missiles as well as torpedoes. Its deck can accommodate multiple unmanned helicopters, expanding search and strike capabilities. The aft houses the HQ-10 defense system, while a medium-caliber retractable cannon gently rests on the bow. An integrated mast with radar arrays, ESA tech, hydroacoustic systems for underwater threat detection, and full autonomy. Now that's an Orca. The aft houses the HQ-10 defense system, while a medium-caliber retractable cannon gently rests on the bow. An integrated mast with radar arrays, ESA tech, hydroacoustic systems for underwater threat detection, and full autonomy. Now that's an Orca. My scriptwriters tell me this next one is a military sensation, well, if only for the name. The Hongqi 19 missile defense system is designed to fight medium-range ballistic missiles and is capable of bullseyes in the middle and final stages of the flight. This means it can intercept missiles at a range of up to 1,800 miles or 3,000 kilometers both in and outside the Earth's atmosphere. This advanced technology is already being compared to the US THAAD system, demonstrating China's defense ambitions. The system comprises a pair of 8x8 wheeled carrier-mounted launchers with 6 missiles each. It uses cold launch at a steep, near-vertical angle. The system comprises a pair of 8x8 wheeled carrier-mounted launchers with 6 missiles each. It uses cold launch at a steep, near-vertical angle to hit targets at speeds of up to 6 miles or 10 kilometers per second. The carbon fiber missiles can withstand overloads of up to 60 Gs and use radar and infrared guidance, reducing atmospheric interference. But frankly, it wasn't the Hongqi 19 that drew the most media attention at this airshow. Once again, China Aerospace Industries Corporation unveiled its new Wing Lawn X, abbreviated WLX combat drone. This innovative medium-altitude platform combines long flight duration with an impressive arsenal for combating both surface and underwater targets. The arsenal includes YJ-9E anti-ship missiles, ET-60 torpedoes, PL-108 light air-to-air missiles, and hydroacoustic buoy ejection devices. Additional weaponry includes anti-radar and anti-ship missiles, as well as high-precision LS-6 bombs weighing 550 and 1,100 pounds, or 250 and 500 kilos respectively. The drone can be equipped with EW modules, which enhance the drone's reconnaissance and defense capabilities. According to CCTV, the Wing Lawn X is China's largest and heaviest armed reconnaissance and strike drone, and it's now undergoing test flights. At this point, it seems they're just showing off, because the same company presented their ARJ-21 jet, which has been renamed to C909. Since its launch into commercial use, the company's 150 airplanes have already carried 17 million passengers. At the same time, the jetliner has been constantly improved on in terms of performance, cabin comfort, and crew working conditions. Now, the developers offer several versions of the C909 with different cabin configurations. Some of the main features of the model include the ability to take off and land on short, narrow runways, as well as operate at really high altitudes. Overall, excellent, but against the backdrop of other military innovations, the airliner didn't really stir up a lot of emotions. Finally, we saw the Scorpion D, the world's first large, 4-engine drone with a fully modular fuselage that allows for rapid customization. The China Civil Aviation Administration predicts that low-altitude aviation markets will reach $200 billion by 2025 and $480 billion just 10 years from that. As of today, Shenzhen alone has established 207 low-altitude routes and 249 stations, including automated hangars and airports, making it Big Papa in this field both in the country and the world. Yet, it's not easy to develop this industry even in China due to lack of standards and infrastructure. Still though, just like everything, it's a numbers game, and it seems that the rest of the world will soon have to play catch-up. Okay, lastly, remember the lunar mission Chang'e 6? while the Chinese, for the first time ever, showed samples collected from the dark side of the moon. They also showed their return capsule and other artifacts from the mission. There's more, but we're out of time, so subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and check out our Instagram for more from the world of high tech.